as it is the tradition in our Buddhist system, whenever we have a program, we start with Namo Tassa in our tradition, paying homage to Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So we just have this chanting. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. Dhammang Saranang Gacchami. Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. Dudiyampi Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. Dhammang Saranang Gacchami. Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. A very good morning to all esteemed, respected, venerable panelists, and also Dr. Gulshan ji. This program is being organized and hosted by DG ICSI, Indian Chambers of Service Industry, and full chambers monitored by Dr. Gulshan ji every day. Today, he is taking rest for health reason. He has been working very hard. So we pray and hope he gets well soon. He's already well, but he needs some rest. So he'll take rest and then he'll come back to us. We are very much grateful to him for giving us this opportunity. And today is 15 August 2020. It's a very important and very auspicious day, the 74th Independence Day of India. On this special occasion, I welcome you all, and also on behalf of International Buddhist Confederation, ICSI, that is International Chambers of Service Industry, and the global Buddhist community, I extend greetings and best wishes to everyone, to every Buddhist and non-Buddhist, everyone around the world. This is for this special occasion today. I hope and wish all a peaceful and healthy and happy life on this special occasion. Now, this webinar on the theme, the relevance of Buddha's teaching in today's education. We have started it long back. The whole program started in the month of June by Dr. Gulshan Sharma ji, with many programs, many webinar series by eminent personalities from around the world, and the time slot given for Buddhist teachings here is on Saturday. The program goes on actually from Monday to Sunday, every day in the evening and morning also. And time given for Buddha's teaching, the relevance of Buddha's teaching in today's education is Saturday. So today we have a panelist whom we know as the singing nun, a renowned nun, a Buddhist nun. She is a world-renowned singing nun. She taught in America and Europe and successfully presented Himalayan Buddhist mantra, ritual, chanting, and Nepali music to the world. In a small age of 13, she became Buddhist nun by associating with Nami Gumpa, Nepal. Since 2014, she has been appointed as the first UNICEF National Goodwill Ambassador for Nepal. She is the founder of Nuns Welfare Foundation, Ani Choying Drolma Foundation, Arugya Foundation, Kidney Hospital, Arya Tara Association in Nepal. Then we have another panelist, Mr. Bruce Mckenzie, co-founder, Systematic Development Associates Australia. He is one of the world's most experienced systemic practitioners. His work includes mapping out complex issues and developing change management and leadership development programs. His clients are governments, corporate enterprises such as USA, EPA, USA biodiesel industry, Pfizer, Cisco, Lanxess, Telstra, NBN, and Westpac, and community agencies in agriculture, education, health, public utilities, telecommunications, and community development. He has researched on the expression of Buddhist ethics in the workplace. He is currently working on a research project about implementing Buddhist ethics in higher education. We heartily welcome both of you, our Venerable Anichung Dolmaji, and also esteemed practitioners of Buddhism, Bruce Mckenzie. And we have another very important two students, two of the brilliant students from Putai Senior High School, founded by Sung Tai Chan Monastery, Taiwan. We heartily welcome you. I have seen your video in your YouTube. It's very nice. So we heartily welcome you to this webinar series today. With this note and welcoming all the panelists, and this is how the topic for today's, and we have been doing it, the relevance of Buddha's teaching in today's education. As we know, the teaching of Buddha is not limited only to the classroom. In fact, during the Buddha's time, what Buddha has taught is whole village, whole nature, this city, town, everywhere. Buddha has gone to every part of those area in the northern India, today known as UP, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, then that side, Delhi, and many other places where he traveled. So he taught to the people, not in the classroom, the four-wall classroom, but in the real life experience. So he covered every aspect of human experience and human life. Main focus is how one can overcome from the darkness of delusions, hatred, the negativities, defilements, which cause human beings themselves experience suffering and also cause others suffering. So the main focus the Buddha kept was to help people overcome and also eradicate these conditions which make human life and also others' life forms miserable. So today we'll be looking at the Buddha's teaching from different perspectives, how the teaching of the Buddha can be applied in today's pandemic situation or otherwise also in the classroom situation. Now we don't have the classroom physically, but we are having nowadays the virtual classrooms, that is the online classes. and also in the real life of experience where most of the people are under lockdown situation, not able to move freely like before, and we are confined to some extent within our uh, houses and temples or workplaces where we have to maintain certain guidelines that we keep ourselves safe and secure and try to overcome the suffering caused by the pandemic COVID-19. So I would like to request our most venerable, the singing nun, as she is known very well worldwide, Venerable Ani Choying Drolma to take on this stage and share your valuable ideas, experiences with everyone, please. Venerable Ani Choying Drolma please.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning.
Venerable, thank you so much for the very kind introduction. Well, though I'm not a very highly academic person or a very learned person, but just simply because I believe in freeing myself and others from the difficulties and the sufferings as so on, as everybody, desires the same thing. I'm also one of them. Nothing extraordinary about me. But of course, in order to achieve that so-called happiness or the good feeling, I've been doing through singing. So the singing has been working as a magic wand in my life, and making myself happy. At the same time, I can even see very effective impact on the others who are listening to my singing. So that made me happy, and that also helped me to generate the resources in order to help the children here in Nepal who are less fortunate than some of other children who could not have the convenience for them to join school, and especially for girls. So I've been able to assist and help these young girls to really receive proper education in a proper, safe and secure environment without having to worry about much of the rest of the things, where they will eat and where they will stay and how they will survive. And so these are little things. And then, well, according to what Buddha's teaching, as much as I know, though as I mentioned earlier, I'm not very highly academically educated person or a scholar. I'm a scholar or very good practitioner, but yet what I really believed every time, wherever I am or every day in my life, is that what Buddha's teaching is about, you have to be skillful according to the time, place and people, but the most important thing is to be kind and thoughtful. So that's what I've been trying to apply that in every day to day in my life, in everything that I do, I speak, and I just think about. So how can I be able to assist someone in however way possible that can really immediately be some service to that person or situation or that incident. So for instance, like these days, what we are going through, the special experiences about the coronavirus, COVID-19 pandemic, where everybody is kind of filled with fear of being infected by COVID-19 and trying to stay home, but staying home for too long is suffocating, very boring. So at this kind of situation in Nepal, especially, our government has very limited resources and skills to really tackle this situation in a very proper and effective way. So I've been trying to assist them in order to make things better. I cannot say that I've done a lot, but I've tried together with my other friends to assist the health workers who are working in the front line in order to take care of the people who are infected in the quarantines and people who are coming from outside, how to take care of them so that they are not infected and then they don't spread this COVID-19 everywhere. So I've been trying my best to provide masks, because at the earliest time, the mask was a big problem that we could not find many masks. So, and unfortunately, some people seem to be very much interested to make money during these times. So I had to, me and together with my friends, we've been buying them in black market, paying extra monies. But then most important thing was was very necessary to provide these masks, and especially the protective equipments for the medical workers, like the PPE, the personal protective equipment. So these kind of clothings, and then the sanitizers for the journalists, the security officers who are working in the front line. So I think according to the situation and time as it is in need, how can you skillfully provide your service and your contribution to for the well-being of everyone? I think that's how you are supposed to practice as being a Buddhist, I think, according to what Buddha's teaching is about too. And besides that, of course, practicing meditation, contemplation on that. His teachings are obviously part of our daily life, but then, you know, but then as the situation as it is right now, I think we have to very much be out there in order to contain and everyone to be not to be infected by this COVID-19. How we can be able to serve and assist the government in, you know, and then serve the people who are in difficulties. Actually, these days, more than the COVID-19, I think people are more suffering with the emotional issues. We, unfortunately, during the lockdown in Nepal, we had many people committing suicide. So that is the number of people who lost their life are far much greater than people dying from COVID-19, which is the most surprisingly and shocking thing to see, really. So here it really shows how it is so important now at this kind of a very modern time to understand and to realize how Buddha's teaching can really make an impact in our life, to see things more clearly and to lead or to deal with our emotional turbulence, you know. So meditation and then the Buddhist education, I think, is the most relevant uh, um, thing that we can really try to assist being people around wherever we go. And Nepal, as being the very holy land where Buddha is born, of course, as we as Nepali who we live here as being Buddhists, we I personally feel that we do have a big responsibility in order to really propagate or spread these teachings of Buddha, in order to really assist people in their life to tackle with their day-to-day life challenges and difficulties in a most effective and meaningful way. So that's how I am as of course as a Buddhist nun. Um, in day-to-day life, as in our culture, where our patriarchy society is quite in a very ignorantly effectively carried on. I would forgive me, venerable, but I would still say that this is very, very vivid in our monastic system too, you know. So in day-to-day life, I'm kind of tackling with that as well, but not in a very aggressive manner, of course, as I believe in this saying that instead of cursing the darkness, why not light a candle yourself? So instead of blaming others and criticizing others, but I think I should take the responsibility to remove that darkness which I don't enjoy or don't like, or which is causing difficulty in my life. So I am the first person to take the responsibility to remove that darkness in my life. So for that reason, so I've been doing these works, activities such as running school for girls and assisting people in hospitals, especially dedicated towards people who are suffering with kidney failure because of my love for my late precious mother, you know. So as a gesture of my love for her, so and whatever is whoever or however situation I am in, if I find some necessity to really or opportunity to assist anyone in freeing them or minimizing their difficulties, I always try my best. So depending on my capacity and my ability. So so venerable, I think I'm
Yeah,
not so much good at talking too long.
thank you so much. But I think people would love to listen to your kind of chanting music, you know, what do you call it? Chanting music or singing that will instill a kind of devotion and also peace uh, in the mind of the listeners. So would you like to have some the prayer chanting
Sure,
with
sure, sure. I
music?
can do
Yeah,
that.
right, right. Kindly, please.
Namo Ratnandraya Namo Aryanjana Sagaram Berotan Vyuharajaya Tathagataya Arahate Samyak Sambuddha Namo Sarvadathangate Arahate Samyak Sambuddhibhyo Namo Arya Avalokende Shvaraya Bodhisatoya Mahasatoya Mahakarunika Tadyantam Darada Dhire Dhire Dhurudu Ite Unti Tsani Tsani Praisani Pratsani Kusume Kusumavani Mini Chittenzunaya Mapanaya Soha. Okay, so
Yeah, thank you so much for your lovely and beautiful chanting and singing. It's a devotional song and chanting. As you have pointed out, while practicing Buddha's teaching, the important aspect is the compassion and to be thoughtful and mindful. It's a very, very important aspect. When we confront or come across situations which are unpleasant or it's pleasant, and it depends on how we respond to that, which make us either happy or unhappy, miserable. So it's when we respond to a situation with compassion and being mindful, and I think we do not assimilate or get the worldly dirt affect, that affect us. Otherwise, if we react to that with the defilements, either it's anger or hatred or some kind of reaction, then definitely those people are already miserable and we also make ourselves miserable. I understand it's a very important aspect of Buddha's teaching to be thoughtful, mindful, and being compassionate. So we always say, Sabbe Satta Sukhita Bhavantu, may all beings be happy and peaceful. So whether people
I
think
think
bad of us,
it depends on how we learn to perceive things correctly.
yeah,
Correct
yeah,
in the
right.
sense what is what how we when we perceive it correctly, that kind of, if we perceive it positively, the effect will be positive to oneself, and then we will be capable of responding to it in a right manner, I guess. So I think it's the perception that we should really try to transform if we are engaging ourselves in the wrong way of perceiving things in our life. That's, I think, is the main thing that I try to learn and practice in my life. See,
Yes, yes.
every unfavorable situation even can give you the best lesson of life. So I think it's all about how you learn to perceive them.
Right, right, right. Yes, Venerable. When we talk about this Eightfold Noble Path, the first is Samyak Drishti or Samyak
Yes.
Tithi. That's what right view, you know, I mean,
Yes.
the right perception or positive perception, that's
Sure.
important. Once we practice mindfulness and meditation, when we develop this right view or Samyak Drishti comes. That is the part of the practice. Thank you so much, most Venerable, Anil Choying Drolma. So now may I request Mr. Bruce Mckenzie, please take on the central stage and share your experience and ideas with all of us, please.
Thank you very much, Venerable, and thank you all the organizers behind this program for inviting me to participate today. I value this opportunity very highly. I want to talk about three things. First of all, my own journey, and a little bit about a project that we're doing's background, and then the project itself, which I think are all relevant to the role that Buddhist teaching has in today's education, today's world. So a bit about who I am for a start. I am an academic and probably don't know as much as the Venerable, whose University of Life is far more significant than my University of Bricks. But I've taught and researched in university education systems for about 50 years. My teaching covers in the last 25 years has specialized in the integration of systems thinking, collective experiential knowledge, what we all learn from life, to deal with complex issues, which some people call messy or wicked problems. So I've focused on that in my work. And it wasn't until I was working in a program for the Thai government in 2014 that I realized the strong coherence between systemics, which is what I've just been describing, systems thinking and experiential knowledge, what it has in common with Buddhism in terms that both these approaches to global and local issues rests on the premise that improvement is achieved through practicing the process. I'll say that again, that improvement is achieved through practicing the process. It's not about solutions that pop out and you reach by some deductive process. It's rather the continual engagement with those issues, the practice, which is significant. I think this makes a high correlation between my life as an academic in systems and my more recent life engaged with Buddhism. So I have experienced higher education systems in Australia, United Kingdom, United States, Norway, South Africa, Hong Kong, Thailand, Sri Lanka, a host of different groups of doing things, but all basically the idea that the state accredits various institutions to offer educational programs. And in most cases, the courses that are taught in these institutions are accredited by that state authority. And in some cases, they're even telling people how to teach those same subjects. An approved course like that may be about Buddhism, such as the master's degree program that I studied in 2018 and 19. The course was known as Applied Buddhist Studies. From the course, I learned about the philosophy, the history, and the practices of Buddhism as a global belief system that contributes to the sharing of or shaping of decisions pertaining to many global challenges. My research dissertation was, as said, the Venerable said in my introduction, was about the effect of Buddhists, practicing Buddhists in the workplace, and how they affected the relationships that occurred between various people in that situation. So I see great value in offering applied Buddhist studies programs to people who work requires them to develop a holistic appreciation of the world. And there are many, many decision makers who fall into that category who haven't yet had the opportunity for applied Buddhist studies. And so I think there is a great role for us to keep rolling out applied Buddhist studies as for the general education of many, many people, particularly those in management roles. But let me put my glasses on so I can read my notes a little bit more effectively. Effectively, I want to talk today on a different way of understanding the Buddha's teachings in an educational setting. And that is on the way we teach, the how we teach. And this is a project that we have started reasonably recently to see if we can have a look in our institution here at Nan Tin in Wollongong in Australia about how we could more effectively utilise the Buddha's teachings about teaching itself into the institution, into the regular teaching programs. Magali Grant, one of my colleagues in this project, wrote a paper last year which was about the positioning of Buddhist ethics within our institution. And it highlighted that it isn't just a matter of talking about Buddhist ethics, it is about the way in which you transmit them, which is very similar to what Venerable was saying that she does in her work. It's not so much what she does, it's how she does it, which makes an important contribution. So we're asking the same thing about education in the 21st century. It's how you do that. Now, in this research paper, my colleague looked at a number of universities, but three in particular I want to highlight to get a sense of how others see this as important. One of those universities was in Japan, one in Korea, and one in America. And the one in Japan, it's guided by the founding spirit, which is grounded in Pure Land Buddhism. And it aspires to educate students to become people who seek truth, live in truth, and reveal truth. In their promotion of their programs, they specifically say, in addition to cultivating abundant humanity and an experience of symbiosis that is founded on the deep understanding and the meaning of equality, independence, self-reflection, gratitude, and peace, in accordance with our founding philosophy, we will train graduates to contribute to human society through broad scholastic achievement and a pioneering spirit. So they're talking about the character of their students as an extra to their learning. The university in Korea expresses its spirit through the school's precepts of wisdom, compassion, and endeavour. Its educational goals are broad and ambitious. They say to build up one's character based on the Buddhist virtue, to make the nation, mankind, and nature full of wisdom and benevolence, and to realise the ideal society in which people can trust and respect each other. As I said, a very ambitious organisation, but I think probably a very successful one as well. In the American University at Maricopa, which is based on Buddhist values, the values themselves, they value themselves as a leader in contemplative education. And one of their goals is to educate their students to meet the world's needs with a relevant and socially transformative curriculum. Their goals are inclusive of students, staff, and operations. I want to highlight that because I think it is another part that we often miss. It's not just the student. In this university, they're trying to embody more holistically the institution, all its dimensions. One operational goal is to embed contemplative methods with administration, educational programs, and organisational strategies. So these three universities, as examples, are committed to transmitting and applying Buddhist values such as compassion, wisdom, and altruism for the benefit of humanity in the traditions of the Mahayana Buddhism. Of the three, only the American university actually has an explicit plan about how it might do it. And again, I highlight this, that many of us do talk about the importance of embedding the virtues and the ethics within the program itself, but there are very few examples of how. For example, we were unable to find an example of any group that had studied or developed a program about this, how you actually carry this on in a higher education institution. It's almost like by saying it, we imply a situation. Or we know, in many cases, it's about the individual staff member and their relationship. Without it being an institutional phenomena, you go through a higher education institute and you meet lecturers who embed the ethic, the virtue, and you meet others who see it just as a job and don't necessarily represent that way of being. So Nantin has expressed a determination, an aspiration to become an institution where it is more than just words, if you like, where they really do want to see both the content and the delivery of their academic qualifications representing the Buddhist teaching in the fullness of those teachings and meaning, which means developing a Buddhist pedagogy, not just going off the traditions of university learning programs, but creating one which is unique to their situation. Now, we've started to try and investigate what this pedagogy might look like, and we're using a term called the Buddhist ethos, the characteristic of the Buddhist culture, the Buddhist way, the Buddhist virtues, as expressed in the Noble Eightfold Path, in the 5 precepts, and other readings and records that we have, where the emphasis expresses to us the way that we should be trying to integrate our learning programs or our teaching programs. So we've decided that we should concentrate on 3 dimensions in this work. One is the Buddhist ethics. The focus here is on identifying the very elements within the Noble Eightfold Path and other Buddhist writings of the context of everyday life. What are the 21st century, 2020 virus-inflicted world's approach and utilisation of these particular factors? So we're suggesting that the actual virtues that may rise to be most important will change as circumstances change. We'll have a call for a different emphasis, if you like. Again, as the Venerable suggested when she was speaking to us a while ago, you have to be relational in the times that you are in. The second focus that we've got is on effective learning. The focus here is to identify what the coherent relationship is between the pedagogy, the way we teach, content, what we teach, and the way we assess it. Where we often come badly apart and fail is that we don't integrate assessment as a dimension of the learning process. We tend to see it like at the end as an evaluation tool that says, well, you finished this subject, here's your grade, good luck. We're rather trying to argue that it needs to be an integral part of the whole process. And the third element that we're focusing on is the receiving, the student experience in the learning process. And the focus here is on the implementation of activities that allow practicing within the subject. So that we just don't talk about that improvement comes through practice of process. We actually provide that as part and parcel of the learning exercise. Now, we wouldn't like to suggest, and hope no one draws the conclusion, that no one else has been down this path. Many people have. I'm sure, and have looked at various elements of it. We're trying to look at it as a holistic thing. So I'm going to try and share my screen, which I was told that I can do, so we'll see. Yep. So as we look at the Nantin Institute's operations, we see that there are 5 dimensions. There is the administrating of the institution, the maintaining of it as an institution, right down to the cleaning and those types of maintenance of gardens and so on, to maintaining of the financial capacity, the promoting of it to students to tell the story of what we're on about, the caring of students once they're amongst us, which is more than just the learning teaching program, and then the learning and teaching. And if we're going to be successful in building a Buddhist ethos for our institution, it has to embrace all of these elements of the organisation, every part of it. Now, we're starting at the moment with just the learning, the teaching and learning element, but we see that we will fail if we just stop here. The Buddhist ethos needs to be a holistic experience whenever you come into the aura and presence of the institution. To guide us in terms of building a framework for these activities, we've drawn on the work of Bernstein, who was an educationalist and philosopher back in the 1970s, and whose work became a little bit of a watershed for many universities and, well, even secondary and primary education, in the sense that he argued that there needed to be a strong relationship between the content of what you taught, the pedagogy, excuse me, the way you taught it, and the assessment. And this triad was essential if you were going to get an effective education program. So we took his work and we broke it up into 5 elements, if you like: curriculum design, pedagogy structuring, the way we organize our class, if you like, pedagogy delivery, which is the teaching process, the student engagement, how did they participate, and assessment and feedback. Now, in system thinking terms, everything's connected to everything else, which is a very close dimension with Buddhism, where we have codependency as one of our founding understandings and beliefs. And so we don't see these as separate entities. Just like we saw all the aspects of the operations of the Nantin Institute as a system of all going together, so we see this process of the classroom being a series of relationships between these 5 dimensions. And we've gone on to argue that the channels that run on these arrows are actually 3 kinds. And those 3 are summarized as presencing, the way we are in the course, the way we are in the classroom, our very being as persons, both staff and students. In other words, how do we connect to our source? And it brings out issues like compassionate, generous, mutually supportive, communal, contemplative, and so on. These are dimensions of our being together in that place. The second one is language, the way we talk about and make meaning of the experience. So from a Buddhist perspective point of view, we're looking for kind, open, clear, accurate, non-judgmental, inclusive, encouraging, purposeful type language in our exchanges. And then finally, there is the doing, the way in which we interact, the experiencing of the process, the practicing, if you like. And it needs to be reflective, non-threatening, inclusive, open, diverse, realistic, to express a few terms. Now we see that these terms on the right-hand side of my slide are all drawn from the Buddhist concepts of moral responsibility. These are the characteristics, the ethos of being Buddhist. And of course, there are many more, but in terms of a slide, there's a limit to what you can write. So now, to sort of summarize and pull it all together, what we're doing is we're saying that higher education, when it's overlaid by a Buddhist institution, an organization or even a staff member who seeks to express their Buddhism, one way of doing it is to teach subjects about Buddhism, but another way is to build a Buddhist ethos at that overlay between the two and use the three channels of sending that Buddhist ethos right throughout the organization by presencing, languaging, and activities. And that for us is a way in which we're trying to capture and demonstrate how the teaching of the Buddha are relevant in 2020. So if I stop sharing and hand back to you, Venerable, as our chair.
Okay. Thank you so much for your presentation, where you have emphasized on this Buddhist ethics and effective learning. So I think we are having two highly performed students from Taiwan. They'll be sharing, they are in the Buddhist school. It's a Putai Senior High School from Taiwan. We have two students to share. As you have presented from the perspective of a teacher, how the Buddhist ethics and effective learning can take place and which can be incorporated into one's life for transformation. Now we have two highly performing students from Putai Senior High School. May I request ElinaYin-Yuan Chen, please share your experience as a Buddhist student, please.
My name is Elina Chen, and now I'm in 11th grade in Putai. And I stay in Putai for 3 years already.
Yes. And I'm Francis, and I'm currently a 12th grader in the Putai Senior High School, and I also stay here for. And before I give our presentation of how like our school incorporates Buddhism and like how it affects.
Your voice is not coming clear, so I think you have to come a little closer probably. Yeah, please. Your voice. Yeah, whoever speaks.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, now it's better. Yeah, please.
So I'm Francis Tseng. I'm currently a grade 12er in Putai Senior High School, and I stayed in Putai for.
My name is Elina Chen, and now I'm in 11th grade in Putai. And both of us is in international program.
Before we give our like presentation of how our school incorporates like Buddhism into our students' life, we'd like to play the introductory video of our school. So
Okay.
let me share the.
Think ahead, reach far, aim high. Become a better person, make the world better. All for one,
and picking up manners. We seek knowledge beyond our classrooms, conquering mountains and crossing rivers. We interact with nature and study the Taiwanese Aboriginal cultures.
We see force and peace as one. We achieve our inner peace, then bring out a genuine force.
We slow our pace down first, yet know the exact movements to speed it up. We utilize our full strength through calmness, tender yet firm.
We're prepared for adventures. We're ready for challenges. Once the goals are set, we will strive to succeed and not give up.
This is the determination of our minds. They are the beats of our hearts.
We are ready. We are ready to learn, to become better people, to make a difference to others, and to make the world a better place.
We are ready.
We are ready.
We're ready.
We're from Putai.
Yes, please, you can now
Okay.
close the presentation. And yeah, it's very good. Yeah, please, yeah, now share your experience. How do you learn or take the Buddha's teaching into your practical life?
So basically, we'll talk about how the school was founded, because it's actually a quite special case for Buddhism to serve as like a main role of a school's philosophy. So Elina will introduce this.
So our school name is Putai Junior High School, or Senior High School, and our high school is founded in 2009 by Chen Monastery, and elementary is founded at 2003, which is 5 years earlier. Location of our school is at central Taiwan, just beside the Central Mountain and Chongtai Monastery. And the mission of Putai, which is instructed by our Grandmaster, which is called Wei Jue, is to educate the youth with Buddhism and with Buddhism teachings, and it cultivates us to become leaders in the future.
Yeah. So your Putai Senior High School, it is being run under some monastery, some temple monastery, or it is run by these lay people?
It's actually we're like part of the Chongtai Monastery, and it is really close to our school. And around them, there's like farms, and like there are farmers who live close to us.
Mm-hmm. So very good. So as part of the curriculum, what kind of teachings you get? The practices, whether do you have prayers, or you have some meditation, or you have some like engagement program going and helping outside, as you are saying, respect, compassion, harmony, and authenticity, the four values, right? So this, His Holiness the Dalai Lama also used to say very often something called secular ethics. So ethics, Bruce Mckenzie also has said about the ethics, and ethics is the foundation of Buddha's teaching, or for any person to have a better life, a peaceful life with ethics. So ethics, when we talk about ethics, the ethical values, these are non-sectarian. it doesn't belong to any cult or creed or religion as such. It is universal. When we say compassion as a value, it's also part of the ethics that we be compassionate towards all fellow human beings and also to other living beings. When the compassion is used and practiced, it's a universal value where we do not have to be these Buddhists or Christians or Hindu or Muslims or even non-believers. Anybody can be compassionate. So this, in Pali, it is called sila, where sila means morality. When a person trains the mind, trains the speech, and trains also the physical activities, that is whatever we think, whatever we speak, whatever we do, and all our action at the mental level, vocal level, and physical level, they will be free from harm and also hurting others and destruction. So this is what, we generate a discipline of mind and also words and also body, a physical, vocal, and mental action, where we act based on the compassion. And when we act based on compassion, what happens is the result is always good. When we have compassion in our heart, we feel good and happy, pleasant, energetic, and also whoever we pass on the energy of compassion, help others, the other person also feel happy. This is what a very important thing. So then what other things you learn in your school? The Buddha's teachings?
Like our school incorporates Buddhism into our daily student life is that in the morning we will have 10 minutes of meditation before we start our day, and throughout the semester we will have like these Buddhism classes where there will be like Buddhism teachers who will teach us about how to meditate and like how do we focus ourselves on the things at hand, and also sometimes about karma, or how do we overcome these like problems or like concerns that we might have, and how to control our hearts to become like better person and have like impact.
Right.
Do you want to talk about the
I would like to.
volunteering?
That means you have meditation before the beginning of the class. You are saying, right? Meditation means focusing and concentrating your mind, is it? Yes, it's a very important. So like this, you see, the concentration of the mind or focusing the mind or to be mindful. You don't need to be a Buddhist or Christian or Hindu or Muslims like that. As a human being, you are capable of being mindful. And when you are mindful, or anybody who is mindful can definitely grow positively in life. This is what the ethics is very important, which is universal. Yeah, please, Elina, you were saying something.
And because before I transferred to Putai, I'm from a private school in the city, and that city gives us more freedom than Putai. But after I transferred, so as I transferred to Putai, I'm not really used to Putai's environment at first. But over 3 years of meditation and classes, I found myself more likely to lend a hand to others. Like I will tend to attend volunteering, and I found myself that I can calm myself down more easily, and also I can find my focus. Which means that I know where I'm going to go in the future, or what I'm going to do by Putai's meditation and Buddhist classes.
Yes, very good. So by learning the practical aspects of Buddha's teaching, that's the meditation and the service, and then your being focused, so you can develop yourself, cultivate yourself, where you can keep yourself calm and also focus and do well in your studies and performance. This is very, very important. And these teachings, as Buddha has taught, it is not for a particular caste or community or as such. What Buddha has said is, this is like a medicine, this is like a path, whoever once can practice or walk and take it, the result is there for everyone. So that is what we definitely we call as Buddhists, but we are first human beings, and the teachings of the Buddha is like a medicine or a path that can help everyone. So we welcome everyone. As in India, we have the concept of the inviting everyone and the earth as the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, it is said in Sanskrit or in Indian language, where the whole universe is like your own family, your own house, where everybody, every living beings, everybody in the world, they are your family members kind of thing. So that means what? We treat each and everyone with respect. I think that is what you have been developing the value, the respect. So we respect everyone. That's also part of Indian culture and also Buddhist culture, definitely. Okay, thank you so much for coming and sharing your experiences and ideas from Taiwan, Putai Senior High School. And we wish you grow in your life and develop yourself to be great persons and contribute to humanity, keeping in mind that whatever we'll be doing it for all living beings. So we don't have the barrier of this creed or religion or this thing or that thing. So we work for everyone, all living beings, right? Okay, thank you so much. So, Venerable Anechung Drolma ji, so now we'll be closing it. I would request you to have the closing chanting, as I have started with the Mangalacharan, the big starting chantings. I would request you to, if there's any comment you would like to make or anything, anybody, please.
Venerable Dhammapiya ji,
you are there. Okay, you're most welcome. I wanted to see you. Yes, yes. We are welcome, heartily welcome Dr. Gulshan Sharma ji. He is there now. yeah. So
today on India's Independence Day, when Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya ji prayed for me in the morning in his meditation, and when our nun, such a wonderful lady from Nepal, Annie Madam, and my friend from Australia, Mr. Bruce, when Madam sung so well and Mr. Bruce spoke so well, and these two kiddies from Taiwan, they lifted me from my bed where I was lying. I got the energy, and that was coming from the music, and that was coming from the experience from Australia, and all the way going to Taiwan. I thought I must get up from my bed and I must meet all of you and convey my deep gratitude and thanks to each one of you. I was listening. I was not watching, but I was listening, and the listening itself was so powerful that I rejuvenated myself, and I came just to convey my gratitude and thanks on behalf of International Chamber for Service Industry. Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya ji is having a noble cause. He's having a noble vision. He's doing a great service to the entire humanity. And he always reminds me that the good institutions can only transform the entire world, and we can bring peace, harmony, and brotherhood in the entire universe. I'm looking for the day, I'm living for the day when that international university comes up over there. This morning, I was just posting on my Facebook, and almost about 40 people, those are the top members of mine world over, I sent across to them. And when my friend, Mr. Bruce, was talking from Australia, he mentioned so many countries that gave me the energy. Please get up from your bed. And when any man was singing, that gave me further boost. You have to get up, old man. You are no more old. And if these two young kids can come all the way from Taiwan, why can't you get from the bed? So with these words, my deepest gratitude and thanks to all of you for coming this morning. It's a Buddha's morning. It's a wonderful morning. It's a great morning. And it's a happy Independence Day morning for India. With these words, I hand you over in the safest hands of Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Gulshan ji. We pray and wish that you will be perfectly fine. You'll be perfectly fine. All positive energy we all share with you. Okay.
It's only overexertion because I thought I'm like these two kids. Those are from
Yeah.
and day before yesterday, that is on 12th of August. It was a World Youth Day. I did 13 hours non-stop program for Guinness Book of Records, sitting on this chair from morning 9 till 10 o'clock. 13 hours I spoke non-stop. That gave me a lot of stiffness and spondylitis problem. So because of that, I was in a little bad shape. But seeing all of you, I have regained and regenerated my energy. God bless all of us.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Hope everything will be all right. Yeah, may I request now our most venerable Anichung Dolmaji to have your closing prayer, singing or prayer chanting, please.
Well, may we all be able to feel the freedom from this COVID-19 fear soon, very soon, and may we all be able to really behave in the best manner in order to really serve the humanity and and the world to be a better place. Tuzum sanje goro rembo Chengadrupana deva chengu Hare kuse dando sa depso chenje labdu chena sawe parche shewa samba change.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, thank you. May all of us be well and happy and peaceful. Thank you.
Thank you from here.
Thank you.